Ladies and gentlemen, we live in a world that celebrates results but rarely highlights the sweat and sacrifice behind the curtain. We often admire the success of others without realizing the price they paid to earn it. The truth is simple, yet often uncomfortable. To secure a better future, we must choose to do the hard things today. Hard things aren't glamorous. Waking up early when the world still sleeps. Saying no to distractions when everyone else is indulging. Choosing discipline over desire. These are not popular choices, but they are the necessary ones. Comfort is a silent thief of potential. It whispers to us that everything is fine just as it is, that there's no need to challenge the norm. But deep down, every person knows this truth. Nothing extraordinary has ever come from staying in the comfort zone. Growth, real and lasting growth, always begins at the edge of discomfort. It is in those uncertain, unfamiliar, and often uncomfortable spaces where we stretch, struggle, and ultimately evolve. Think of any meaningful progress in life, physical, emotional, intellectual, or spiritual, and you'll see a moment where comfort was willingly sacrificed for the sake of something greater. The muscles don't grow until they're torn. The mind doesn't sharpen unless it's challenged. The heart doesn't deepen without facing hardship. Everything that is strong, resilient, and worthy was forged in difficulty. Comfort, on the other hand, breeds stagnation. It lulls us into routine, into habits that feel safe but slowly drain our hunger for improvement. From a young age, we are conditioned to seek pleasure and avoid pain. But what if the pain, the discomfort, the hardship, what if all of it was actually a signal that we're headed in the right direction? People often avoid challenges because of fear. Fear of failure, of judgment, of disappointment. But what they don't realize is that fear is often a compass pointing toward growth. When something scares us, it usually means it has the power to transform us. And yet most people back away the moment they feel that fear, not understanding that this is the very threshold they must cross. Comfort zones feel good because they are predictable. There's little risk, and little risk means little reward. The person who truly wants to become more skilled, more capable, more fulfilled, must be willing to enter the realm of unpredictability. They must get comfortable being uncomfortable. Whether it's public speaking, starting a business, ending a toxic relationship, or pursuing a new career, these all require stepping into uncertainty. But it's in those moments where the path is unclear and the outcome is unknown that real development takes place. No great leader, artist, athlete, or innovator ever became remarkable by sticking to what they already knew. Their journey was paved with moments of doubt, failure, rejection, and pain. But through those trials, they developed strength, resilience, wisdom, and perspective. Each struggle taught them something new, not just about the world, but about themselves. They discovered capabilities they never knew they had, only because they were forced. And they remained in the comfort of what was easy or familiar. Those qualities would have stayed dormant, untapped, unrealized. Discomfort is not the enemy. It is a signal that we are being stretched, tested, and invited to grow. The human spirit was not made for ease. It was made for evolution. The more we lean into discomfort, the more we transform. And that transformation is where real growth lives. Comfort may offer safety, but growth demands courage. It asks us to move forward when staying put would be easier, to try again when giving up would be understandable, and to pursue excellence when mediocrity would be accepted. There's a common misconception that the people who achieve great things are constantly inspired, that they wake up every morning buzzing with motivation, ready to conquer the world. But in truth, the most accomplished individuals don't rely on motivation at all. They rely on discipline. While motivation is fleeting, inconsistent, and emotional, discipline is steady, reliable, and rooted in commitment. It's the ability to act regardless of how one feels in the moment. Motivation is an emotional spark. It comes and goes. You feel energized, driven, focused, driven, focused. Other days you feel tired, doubtful, or distracted. If your actions depend on whether you feel motivated, your progress will be sporadic at best. That's why so many people start strong but fade fast. They wait for the next wave of inspiration, the next perfect mood, or the next burst of energy. And while they wait, time slips by. Discipline doesn't wait. Oh, it shows up every day with or without a spark. It's built not on feelings, but on choice. It's a conscious decision to keep promises you've made to yourself. When motivation is nowhere to be found, discipline is the one that gets you out of bed early. It's what takes you to the gym when you're sore, opens the book when you're tired, or keeps you focused when distractions pull at you from every direction. The strongest people aren't those who always feel like doing the work. They're the ones who do it even when they don't feel like it at all, because they understand that the results they want are on the other side of repetition, effort, and time. Discipline creates consistency compounds over days, weeks, months. It builds momentum, and that momentum becomes progress. Tangible, visible, undeniable progress. Discipline also builds identity. One also builds identity. Each time you choose action over excuses, you're telling yourself, I am someone who follows through. That identity strengthens over time. You begin to trust yourself more. You stop depending on hype or perfect conditions. You realize that whether it's raining or sunny, whether you're motivated or not, your path doesn't change. The mission stays the same. Motivation is like a friend who shows up when it's fun. Discipline is the one who stays when things get hard. Discipline carries you through when you're tired, when you're frustrated, when the results haven't shown up yet. It's what keeps the entrepreneur working on their vision after a failed pitch, the athlete training after a loss, the student studying after a poor grade. It's the quiet power behind every story of resilience. In a world obsessed with quick wins and instant gratification, discipline is the rare force that values the long game. It doesn't chase excitement. It creates excellence. It doesn't depend on ideal conditions. It builds regardless. Motivation might get you started, but discipline is what gets you finished. And in the spaces between inspiration and results, it's discipline that carries the weight, day in and day out, without applause, without recognition, and without needing a reason beyond the commitment itself. The principle of short-term sacrifice for long-term gain is one of the most fundamental truths behind any form of success. It's the ability to delay gratification, to willingly endure temporary discomfort or loss today for the promise of something greater tomorrow. While it sounds simple in theory, in practice, it is one of the hardest disciplines to master. Why? Because the rewards are not immediate. The benefits are distant and the sacrifices required are real, uncomfortable, and often misunderstood by those around you. Modern life is designed around instant gratification. With one tap, you can order food, be entertained, receive attention, or avoid discomfort. We're surrounded by systems that reward convenience and punish patience. But what these systems often fail to deliver is depth. Real achievement, true growth, and lasting fulfillment do not come from what's easy. They come from what's earned. And earning something meaningful almost always demands a trade-off. Your time, your energy, your comfort, or your pleasures, now, for something better later. Short-term sacrifice might mean studying while others are out partying. It could mean investing money instead of spending it. It could look like working late hours on your dream while juggling a day job. It may be waking up early, training while you're tired, practicing while no one is watching, or saying no to distractions that feel good in the moment. These aren't acts of deprivation, they're investments. You're planting seeds that will one day grow, even if the soil looked barren today. This mindset requires a shift in perspective. Instead of asking, oh, what do I want now? The better question becomes, what do I want most? The two are often in conflict. What you want now is usually ease, pleasure, comfort. What you want most might be financial freedom, a strong body, a thriving business, a meaningful relationship, or a purposeful life. Choosing what you want most often means saying no to what you want now. And doing that consistently is where transformation begins. There is power in being able to look beyond today, to resist the noise of instant wins in favor of slow, deliberate growth, to have the patience to build and the vision to know that what's hard now may be worth it tenfold down the road. It's what separates those who dabble from those who master. It's what turns good intentions into great outcomes, because nothing of value is built overnight. The strong foundation that supports success is always formed in the quiet moments of sacrifice, long before the spotlight ever arrives. Most people give up not because the goal is too hard, but because the wait is too long. They get discouraged when the effort doesn't immediately produce results. But that's the test. Can you keep going when nothing seems to be paying off yet? Can you trust the process when the reward feels far away? Those who do, those who keep sacrificing for something bigger than the present moment, are the ones who eventually experience the kind of gains that most people never will. Struggle is not the enemy. It is the teacher. In every hardship, every setback, and every challenge, there's an opportunity to grow stronger, wiser, and more capable than before. Strength isn't built when everything is going well. It's built when things are falling apart and you choose to keep going anyway. The resistance we face in life functions much like resistance in the gym. It tears us down so that we can rebuild tougher than before. People often try to avoid struggle as if hardship is something to be ashamed of or escape from. But the truth is, the strongest people you know didn't become that way because their path was easy. They became strong because they endured what would have broken others. Struggles reveal what you're made of. They strip away comfort, pride, excuses, and what's left is something raw, something real. In that rawness, strength is forged. We don't develop mental toughness by reading books or listening to advice. We develop it in the moments when life doesn't go according to plan. When the job is lost, the door is closed, the heart is broken, the dream seems out of reach. That's where strength starts to form. Not in the outcome, but in the decision to keep showing up. The moment you decide to rise, even if you're crawling, that's the moment strength is born. There's something deeply powerful about being able to say, I've been through worse, I'm still standing. That kind of strength can't be faked. It can't be bought. It's earned through pain, built through perseverance, and sustained by purpose. The people who inspire us most aren't those who've lived easy lives. They're those who've taken the hits, faced the losses, and came back swinging. Not because they had to, but because they chose to. Every time you struggle and don't give up, you expand your capacity. You stretch your limits. What once seemed impossible begins to feel manageable. What once scared you becomes part of your story. Struggles teach you resilience, they sharpen your focus, and they make you appreciate the things you once took for granted. And perhaps most importantly, they give you perspective. It's hard to understand strength if you've never been tested. Sometimes struggle is loud, a public failure, a painful ending, a difficult decision. Other times it's silent, the quiet battle in your mind, the fear you don't voice, the persistence behind closed doors. But every version of it builds something inside you, and that inner strength becomes your armor for whatever comes next. It's not about pretending the struggle is easy. It's not about enjoying the pain. It's about understanding that pain with purpose has the power to transform. Every time you endure, adapt, and rise again, you're becoming someone who is more prepared, more grounded, and more unshakable. The struggle is not a detour, it's the path. It's not the end of the road. How the road is paved, the vision is powerful. It's the picture of a life not yet lived, a dream not yet realized, a future that exists only in the imagination. It gives direction, meaning, and clarity. But no matter how vivid, inspiring, or detailed that vision may be, it remains nothing more than a mental image until action is taken. Ideas don't create change. Action does. Vision may light the fire, but it's action that keeps it burning. Many people are filled with vision. They dream big. They talk about what they'll do someday. They make plans, set goals, map out futures. But the gap between where they are and where they want to be never closes, because they mistake imagination for execution. They wait for the right time, the perfect mood, the ideal circumstances. They get stuck in the cycle of preparation, planning and thinking without ever stepping into motion. A vision without action becomes a fantasy, a comfortable illusion that feels like progress but leads nowhere. Action, on the other hand, is the bridge between thought and reality. It's the process of turning intention into experience. Even small steps taken consistently will carry more weight than grand visions never acted upon. You don't have to know the whole path to move forward. You just need to take the next step. Clarity grows with movement. Confidence grows with effort. Vision grows stronger when it's backed by work. People often fear taking action because action invites risk. When you move, you expose yourself to failure, judgment, and uncertainty. But it's in those very spaces where outcomes are unknown that real growth occurs. Vision isn't proven in comfort zones. It's tested in real life in the hard choices, the daily grind, the willingness to try and fail and try again. It's not about being perfect, about being in motion. There is no substitute for work. No shortcut replaces the hours of dedication, the setbacks, the persistence. Vision gives you something to aim for, but it's action that moves the arrow. Without movement, even the clearest target becomes irrelevant. The greatest minds in history were not just dreamers, they were doers. They didn't wait to feel ready. They acted, learned, adapted, and pushed forward. They understood that vision must be lived, not just imagined. Action also shapes the vision itself. The path you envision often changes once you begin walking it. New doors open, new skills emerge, and new perspectives form, but only if you're moving. Stagnation breeds doubt. But momentum, even imperfect momentum, builds belief. And with belief comes more action. It becomes a cycle of progress, all sparked by the willingness to take that first imperfect step. There is a difference between having a goal and pursuing it. One requires nothing but thought. The other demands effort, sacrifice, and endurance. A vision is a promise to yourself about the future, but a promise means little without proof. That proof is in the action, day after day, task after task, choice after choice. Success is often admired, sometimes envied, but rarely understood in its full depth. From the outside, it can look effortless. Wealth, recognition, achievement, and fulfillment all wrapped in a perfect picture. But what's hidden beneath that surface is the truth most people overlook. Success is earned, not given. It's not a gift, not a stroke of luck, not something passed down or stumbled upon. It's built day by day, through choices, sacrifices, and relentless effort. There is no shortcut to true success. Anyone who has achieved something meaningful, whether in business, sports, art, or life, has paid a price for it. They've worked in silence while others slept. They've failed more times than they've succeeded. They've sacrificed comfort, endured setbacks, and kept going when quitting would have been easier. That journey, the grind behind the glory, is what earns success. The idea that success might be handed out is tempting. It gives people an excuse to wait, to hope, to believe that someday someone will see their potential and open a door for them. But the harsh truth is, no one is coming to rescue you. No one owes you an opportunity. The world responds to results, and results come from work. Not wishes, not intentions, but work. Entitlement kills progress. The belief that you deserve success just because you want, it will rob you of the discipline it takes to actually earn it. Success isn't about what you think you deserve. It's about what you consistently deliver. And to deliver, you have to be willing to show up even when it's hard, even when it's boring, even when it feels like nothing is working. It's in those moments when nothing is guaranteed and everything is uncertain that the foundation of real success is laid. Earning success means doing the things that others aren't willing to do. It means saying no to the distractions, to the shortcuts, to the easy route. It means betting on yourself when no one else does. It means learning constantly, adapting quickly, and refusing to settle. Success doesn't favor the most talented. It favors the most committed. The people who are willing to stay in the game longer, to outwork and outlast their excuses. It also means taking responsibility. The successful don't blame the system, the timing, or their circumstances. They look inward. They own their failures. They adjust their strategy. They stay accountable to their goals. That's what separates those who talk about success from those who live it. They understand that everything they want will require effort, consistency, and resilience, and they're willing to pay the price. There's something powerful about looking at your life and knowing that what you've achieved came not from chance, but from choice. That everything you've built, no matter how big or small, was the result of your hands, your mind, your persistence. That power can't be bought. It can't be borrowed. It can only be earned in the end. A better future isn't handed to anyone. It's built by those who dare to do the hard things. Growth comes from discomfort. Strength is forged through struggle, and true success is earned through discipline, sacrifice, and relentless action. Dreams alone are not enough. It's what you do with them that counts. The journey will demand more than ease. It will demand effort, courage, and consistency. But for those willing to pay the price, the reward is a life of purpose, progress, and power. Choose the hard path now, and your future self will thank you for it.